Good morning, everybody. The 9th of May, 2021, and happy Mother's Day to all of you wonderful mothers out there, of which there must be a lot of them, judged by the population of planet Earth. I hope that you enjoy your special day. Well, let's get right to it. I made a recent trip to Slab City in about midday and out about 8 o'clock at night. And I've compiled a series of questions and people wanting to visit Slab City and getting certain information from me, and some curiosity too. And let me preface this by saying 8 hours in Slab City does not make me an authority on Slab City. It is a place where people live, and just getting a little taste of it is all I got. But I did gather enough to have a few impressions about it. And I gathered the 5 questions that I heard the most here, and just preface this also by saying I enjoyed my time there. But then again, I was with the esteemed community cause, and I think knowing somebody there and hanging with somebody there makes a big difference in how your time is going to go. You may not see, you probably won't see things that I saw because you don't specifically have the entree. And that would be the number one suggestion is make contact, watch vlogs of people down there, so at least you'll have some contact point if you choose to have quote unquote a guided tour. It worked out really well for me. I was able to get entree to Rabbit Side, the amazing compound by Peter, Ryan, and Jesse, which is amazing to see how hard driven some people are to produce the very best lifestyle and comfort and sustenance out there. It was pretty amazing. So let's get to the questions here. Well, number one question, were you nervous going to Slab City? I think everybody, as you roll down that road from Neyland, which is the closest town to Slab City, and you roll into Slab City, you have a mixture of excitement, because one of the first things you see on the right hand side is Salvation Mountain, and that's a very impressive thing. It's well documented, the history of that, and it's a very imposing site. It's very inspirational too. And but rolling into Slab City, you have to understand that when you just get guided by YouTube videos, a lot of them, the last Lawless community in America and Anything Goes in Slab City and those type of things, you always have a little bit of nervousness, because you don't want to step on anybody's toes and you don't want to have any negative encounters down there. And we'll get to that a little bit. What I think the most important thing is, if you're going to visit Slab City, even for a day. So of course there's always a little bit of nervousness, because you're an outsider coming in. You're coming in with a camera if you're a vlogger, and that's gonna impact your how you make out down there, because the camera introduces a whole different dimension of interaction. Right? Some people don't mind. Some people do mind being on camera. Could you live in Slab City? Could you? Yeah, you could live in Slab City. Could I live in Slab City? Would I choose to be there year-round? Probably not. I enjoy the aspect that they talk about of fall, winter, and spring, but it's probably one of the most outrageous places that you could choose to live in summertime, particularly if you're a newbie down there, until you've had time to figure out the ropes and figure out how to protect yourself. Yeah, people die down there, and you got to be aware of that, because they don't cope with the heat. They don't stay hydrated, their electrolytes come out of balance, and they're in for a world of problems down there. But could you live there? Of course. Theoretically, lots of people live there, and I think it fills up greatly in the fall, winter, and spring season. So yeah, I think you could live there. But you're going to have to make an effort. If you're coming in your own RV, of course, that gives you the comfort. But if you're coming in with just a car or whatever, and you've got to carve out a life there, you got your work cut out for you for sure. How do people survive the heat? Well, as I mentioned, if you bring in your own RV, which a lot of people do, or they'll purchase an RV that somebody, a travel trailer or a fifth wheel that somebody left behind, and have it hauled to a site, you have an advantage on surviving the heat. The number one thing is you've got to stay out of the sun, and you've got to stay hydrated. Now, the big issue is if you have to build your own hooch, as I call it out there, or your own living compound. If you're trying to do that in the heat, it's going to be very straining. You're going to have to secure materials. You're going to have to, I really think, talk to other people to get advice and see the best way to do it. And if you happen to make some friends and you happen to make a good contact, there may be actually people that are willing to help and help you survive and set yourself up. But heat is definitely in my opinion, the biggest aspect that you have to deal with. The next question that I get a lot is Slab City really lawless? And the answer is no. It's a collection of people that live in Imperial County. And when I came into Slab City, there were 2 motorcycle police. I don't know whether they were California Highway Patrol or Imperial County motorcycle police. They were there. And at another point, I saw the Imperial County Sheriff rolling through. Evidently, they do periodic examinations of the population there, probably to determine if there's outstanding warrants and things like that. The same things that they'll do in a lot of communities, you know, in the United States. Have, I don't want to call them raids. That sounds too harsh, but they'll target a certain area, maybe in a certain part of the city where they think something is going on that presents a risk to the community. Yeah, they'll go in and start shaking it down, figure it out. I think the same thing had happened in Slab City. In terms of being lawless, I think that's perpetuated for viewership. Okay, because no point did I see or hear anybody. I mean, it goes on. There's going to be you know, assaults and things like that happen. But for the most part, if you're minding your own business and doing your own thing, I don't think that it's going to be a problem. But is it lawless? Of course not. It abides by the same laws as Bombay Beach and Nealon and some of the other towns that are down in Imperial County, California. So lawless? No. The laws apply there. They're not suspended when you cross into the Welcome to Slab City building. And the last question, what advice would you give to somebody visiting Slab City? And this is a great question, and one I heard a lot. The number one piece of advice is to tell yourself, no matter how you might not identify or appreciate the way that some people live, remember at the end of the day that they are human beings and they have feelings, and a lot of them care, probably most of them, the overwhelming majority, care very much how they're portrayed. And a good part of what I found was friendship, companionship, and a place where nobody feels like an outsider unless they push themselves outside by doing something wrong that offends the community. I don't know if you can say that about a lot of other places in America, that you come in on equal footing with everybody and you are accepted, no matter who you are. And then it's up to you to decide how you want to perceive that community. So I think coming in with respect is key. Now, I've been to travel to a lot of cities. I've vlogged and shooched in a lot of different ghettos in America, and a lot of very scary areas. And luckily, to this point, I haven't had a problem, because I'm not there to offend people. I'm there to just be a gathering point of information and views and scenery and things that are going on in those communities. But at no point could anyone think that respect is lacking. And I think people are very quick to find out your motives for coming in. So if you come in with an open mind and an open heart, and you're accepting of different lifestyles and people that may live far differently than you do, and in far more, I want to say, deprived circumstances, because some of these people, i.e. Rabbit Side, probably have a better life than a lot of us in ways of fulfillment and being able to live a great life out there. So I think respect would be the number one thing. Well, that's going to do it for this morning. If you do visit Slab City, do a little research beforehand. Understand what draws people to Slab City, of which there's a lot of different reasons, and go in with respect. Okay, I think that is the key. And if you can latch on to a few bloggers and start to comment and get yourself known a little bit, it's going to go a long way to greasing the skids to make sure that you have a great day. Be respectful, and don't wield the camera in people's faces and things unless you're absolutely sure that they are chill with it. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. If you take a minute to hit the thumbs up button, it is most appreciated. And again, happy Mother's Day.